How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, the DC Universe Geek. For those of you who didn't know, today we're going to be having a look at the Mezco 1/12 Collective Deluxe Joker action figure. Now, if you know me, you know that I really like that simplistic style packaging more than anything else. Busy packaging is just that, busy. Simplistic packaging is definitely more pleasing to the eye as far as I'm concerned, and as you can see, with the fluorescent green and the purple motif here, you absolutely have very cool looking packaging. Now, when you pull Joker out of the packaging, this here, what you see in front of you, is the sum total of what you receive in the package. A slew of accessories, an extra jacket, a bag, a stand, and the figure itself. An absolute butt pile of accessories and extra bits by anyone's standard. So looking at the figure, first, we see that the pants, hat, and jacket all have a really cool kind of a dark purple tone to them. I love the vest being an orangish yellow and the shirt being green, as opposed to the green vest and yellow shirt look. I definitely prefer it this way around. The seams and the stitching for the suit look really nice. The scale for the figure actually looks pretty good. I actually would prefer my Joker to be a little bit more taller and slender, but this is still pretty good. Although Joker quite often is depicted as having a long sleeve shirt and then he rolls the sleeves up, I'm okay with this being a short sleeve button-up shirt. I love the color palette for this figure. Again, I can't say that enough. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. When you lift up his pants, as opposed to the original which had yellow socks, this one actually has fluorescent green socks with bat symbols on them. I just think overall, the basic figure itself looks very, very cool. And even if they didn't include the long coat with this figure, it still would have been an action figure I would have purchased. But when we come to the long coat, to me, as far as actual clothing, this adds a lot of extra value, because who doesn't want a trench coat Joker? And it's also cool because it's a completely different purple color to contrast against the pants and the jacket. And so it actually gives more variation to the overall color palette of this figure. I really, really like it. It is made of a kind of a pleathery material, and I do wonder how long it's going to last before it starts to crack, like so many other different pleather materials so often do. Only time will tell how that goes, but I think so far we have something that's very cool. As for the accessories that he comes with, there really is no shortage of them. For one, he comes with a really cool looking menacing straight razor for giving people an extra big smile, as well as a combat knife for stabbing, twisting, and pulling. I love the razor and I love this knife. Joker also comes with a machine gun and a crowbar. The machine gun of which is very cool looking. You can actually pull out the existing magazine and pop in a new one, because, you know, who doesn't want a second magazine of bullets? As well as a handgun that comes with another clip of bullets, and you can actually pop like a little burst of fire into really the end of either gun and make it look like he's just shot off a round. As for that crowbar, definitely themed after the one that he pelted Robin up the back of the head with a bunch of times. It's covered in blood. Of course, why wouldn't it be? And it looks like a crowbar. It's a bloody crowbar. What more can I say? Now, Joker also comes with a set of wind-up, chattery laughing teeth. Well, I can only assume they're laughing. His usually laugh. And he also comes with a rigged set of explosives. A bomb, if you will. And finally, Joker comes with a whole bunch of extra hands, an open hand, a hand holding a Joker card, and the Joker card actually really close. Could be a little bit neater, but I want you to understand how small this card is, so I'm not going to nitpick that much. And he also comes with hands for holding the guns and the edged weapons and what have you. And not only does Joker come with an excellent amount of accessories, but he also has those 4 extra heads, let's not forget. Now let's start with each of the heads on the shoulders and see what they look like attached to that body. Obviously, you're looking at the one that came on the figure in the package in the first place, and now we're moving along to the one that looks like he got his face punched in by Batman. And then we have the angry looking face, and here's what that one looks like when it's sitting on the shoulders on the neck peg. And then we have the maniacal laughing face. And then finally, we have the smirking, menacing Joker face. I really, really like all these extra heads. I do wish that they had have included the basic Joker face with the teeth showing that smile and not just given us the one with the hat. That's the face I really wanted, and it wasn't in the package. Now, the articulation for this figure, I think we're all pretty much familiar with what it can do and what its limitations are if we're familiar with Mezco figures. Anyhow, the head itself is on a ball joint with the neck inside of the body, and it's got the range of movement that you can see here. Joker's got articulation in the shoulders, which can do about what you're seeing here. He's also got articulation in the elbows, single jointed, articulation in the wrists that can go around on a ball joint, and he's also got articulation in the waist, as well as in the torso. He's got articulation in the groin that is definitely hindered by the pants, and he's got double jointed knees, as pretty much every Mezco 1/12 collective figure does. He's got articulation in the ankles by way of a ball joint, which, if you know Mezco, you know that it's really not actually that good. It doesn't give you a really great range of motion. But that's basically it. You're not going to get this figure in anything much more in general than a basic pose. Now, as for the comparison, I did want to put him in between a Batman and a Superman so that you would get an idea of what his height is. I think a lot of people are familiar with the size of these two figures. And then here, alongside the rest of my Mezco 1/12 collective figures, that's the size you're going to get with him. After this quick and simple review, what do I think about this figure? Can I recommend it to you as the consumer? Well, as a DC fan, obviously. As a Joker fan, definitely. As someone who is looking for a very highly articulated figure, if that's really what you want, even though this looks the part and it has all the fabric clothing, I would say no, this is not the one you want, because it really does not have a massive range of motion, especially once you put the clothing on it. It definitely is fairly limited. But if that's not the kind of thing that's going to bother you, I would say absolutely try and find this guy for a reasonable price. I'm aware that scalpers got this guy right away and jacked the price up to an incredibly high amount. But honestly, I wanted this figure enough that it really was worth it for me to pay the little bit I had to end up paying over retail for it, because I wasn't smart enough to pre-order it, and it definitely is a very, very cool figure. And right now, it is absolutely my favorite Joker figure of all time. My rating for this figure is a solid 8.5 out of 10, docking a mark and a half for the fact that the articulation on this guy really isn't all that great, and it is going to be a much more limiting figure to pose around with. But other than that, I really do think that he's absolutely fantastic. The paint, the sculpt, the quality of the suit is all top-notch grade A. Way to go, Mezco, for knocking it out of the park with another top-notch DC action figure. But that is my time for today, so thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video, even though this is an older figure that pretty much everyone and their uncle who reviews figures and collects Mezco has already had the time to review. If you enjoyed this video, please bop it with a like so that I know I'm doing something right. If you want to become a super friend and join the DC squad, you know what that big red subscribe button's for. You can click it and then you can ding the bell if it so pleases you, because that way you'll get notified of when I put out new videos. YouTube is kind of funny. They don't always let you know when something new comes out unless you ding the bell. In this life, there are no guarantees, especially with YouTube. And with that, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, super friends.